Alright guys, wanted to give you an update here. This is one of the steps here, some of the things you got to cut. This was the original dust shield. My suggestion is just, make some cuts along the edge here and just keep, cutting the corners off until it's round, and then just kind of grind it, make it a nice smooth piece. You want to keep these just to make sure it kind of keeps dirt and grime out of the back of the wheel bearings where the original hub was. So anyway, that's a tip there. Pretty easy. Just take a cut-off wheel, and this stuff's pretty thin. Some people suggest using tin snips. I don't know, it's a little thick, so I just went ahead and zipped it with the cut-off wheel. So here's the other piece we cut. I went ahead and painted this already, but you want to cut essentially this ear off here, and then cut this off as well, which is right here. Is that the right one? So, that's the other thing. And then I use some cool stuff. It's to just, it converts rust to paint. I think it's by Rust-Oleum. But, that did a really nice job to coat these spindles here on up. So cut that off, and then just kind of take and what I used is I guess you could use a cutting wheel from a grinder, but what I used was a saw with a metal blade, and it was like butter, man. I just lined it up and cut right through it, and then I did use the grinding wheel just to kind of smooth up all the edges. So that's a tip there when you cut it. So I had to order a tap. So the next two things I have to do is tap. I already drilled these out using a 13/32 drill bit, which is right over here. See, this is the drill bit you want to use right here. Get a halfway decent one, and use some cutting oil that I bought off of Amazon to help make sure you keeps it sharp as you're sort of like cutting it. The biggest tip that I can give you is, as you're drilling it, make sure it's level, perpendicular, all that shit, and you want to make sure that you drill that hole straight. And so that's one of the things you just need to be careful with. For the most part, I think this hole will guide you in a straight path. Just be aware though that as you're drilling it, don't get all crazy, one side or the other, or it's just not gonna, the bolt's gonna be offset a little bit. It's just not, the head's not gonna rest on the bracket very well. So that's the spindles. Like I said, really I'm just waiting on now the tap to come in, because I thought I had millimeter taps, but it's supposed to be, I think, an M12 by 1.75, and that way I can get those in there, and that's where the bracket is going to mount. And then I went ahead and got these all cleaned up, the brackets from bigbreakupgrade.com, and put a nice coat of semi-gloss paint on that as well. And so this is going to be ready. I always get these things upside down the way that's where your caliper is going to mount to. So once you thread that on there, let me just make sure I get this here the right way. Basically that one and that one there. I think that's the way it goes there. So I'll give you a better look here. So I've got to thread that one in there. And by the way, this hole doesn't go all the way through, which I didn't realize. So when you're drilling it out, and I may have to put a note on this video, but I think the standard depth that it's at now will be fine. And then from there, you kind of use the bolts, the big brake upgrade Com gives you, and then once that's threaded in, put some red Loctite on that. Then it's ready from that point to bolt all on. Now I had a buddy of mine, we also had these are the original rotors. Remember in my first video I talked about cutting them down in part 1. These are the finished product of that, and I need to clean these up, paint them all up, clean all the grit out of it, so I'll soak it in some diesel fuel or some gasoline and see if I can clean all that out with some brake cleaner. And you got to make sure you get all that metal junk out of there, maybe even press it out, I don't know, and put another one in there. So I got to figure that out. But so that's that, and then that's just going to ride up on here. And then once you get that on there like that, then of course I will also order the studs, a little bit longer studs, because remember the new damn crows, the new rotors, we'll go over them like this. And I also had these drilled out as well from a buddy of mine, so that was super cool of him. That way they can fit over the hub, and I'll put the dimensions on what big brake upgrade suggests for them. You can also buy these already done from them. You can buy this already done from them. So if you don't want to take it to a machine shop, or you don't know anybody to turn these down, just buy it. Just take some cash and you're good to go.